What's in the cards for you this week ahead? Hello, hello, and welcome to the weekly energy weather report. Meet with me, Irina Miller. And I just want to give you a quick heads up. This is being pre-recorded because I'm going to be at an amazing astrology conference. And I will be on that adventure when I normally go live, Mondays, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. I will be updating you guys more later midweek on the big eclipse we have coming up, full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. Hold on to your hats, get ready. We are officially in eclipse season. And then Mercury goes retrograde and Venus is already retrograde on top of it. So we've got a lot going on. March 2025 is considered to be one of the most transformational and life-changing months of the year. So let's dive into it and let's just begin. I'm going to invite you to place your hand on your heart and just ask yourself, what's the most important thing that you need to know going into this week ahead? Strength. This also reminds me of that saying at springtime, in what was it, out like a lamb, in like a lion, or vice versa. But ultimately, deep down inside, you have the strength, tenacity, and perseverance to make your way. And this is also a reminder that it's not about brute force. It's not about coming in and being overpowering energy, but rather it is, you attract more flies with honey than you do vinegar. It's that kind of idea that it is through an attentiveness. If we think of Venus retrograde, Venus itself is relationships, partnerships, love, money, resources, what we value, the gifts and talents you bring into this world. So utilize your gifts, utilize the gifts of diplomacy. Find yourself being able to tune into that strength deep down inside, knowing that there's a patience there that enables you to wait for just the right moment, let's say to pounce like the lion. All right. Let's jump into the week. And by the way, if we haven't met, my name's Irina Miller. I'm an astrologer, a spiritual life guide, what I call an energy alchemist. And it is my true joy to share with empathic, curious seekers sacred tools and practices like astrology and meditations and energy healing techniques so that you can step into the life that you were born to live. So I'm glad you were here, my Moonbeam Dreamers. Let's talk about the overarching energy of the week. I love to start there, because the phases of the moon give us a bit like circadian rhythms, a little clue into how the energy is unfolding for us. Now we are in a waxing phase, waxing gibbous. The moon is building up to that full moon lunar eclipse on Friday, March 14th. And then Mercury goes retrograde on the 15th, that Saturday. So when the moon is building like this, there is a sense sometimes of restlessness, of the energy building. I want to encourage you to practice discernment this week, to be able to really pull on not only your intuitive side, because it is a very intuitive time. The Piscean energy right now is helping us out. Neptune's going to be playing with this full moon lunar eclipse that we have. So very highly intuitive, but there is the incredible opportunity with this full moon lunar eclipse for endings, for culmination, for something to come to a head so that the next chapter can begin. It is fated. It is preparing you for what has been in your heart and you've been wishing and hoping and praying for. But sometimes we just have things in our life that take up time or resources or blocks that make it difficult to make the dreams a realization. And sometimes eclipses, I see them as shaking up life. It's like a shifting for the gold instead of sifting, where things shift a little, they shake a little so that we can have the cracks in the walls and the light can come in so we can see with more clarity, that big picture vision. So use this week, and we'll talk about each day with the moon, to help you become very pragmatic in the sense of, I'm going to take in the big picture so that I'm not falling into the worry of the day-to-day little things. It's like, what does it say? Pound foolish, penny wise. Have you heard that phrase? Or sometimes we worry about the little things and the small things so much, we forget about the big picture. So keep the big picture in mind. I'm going to encourage you, make sure you manage your energy well this week. Get your rest. do nighttime routines, whether that's meditating or a little yoga practice before bed, or, turning off the screens a little bit before you go into the bedroom and winding down. Maybe you have an essential oil like a lavender spray that you spray on your pillows for easeful dreams, because you want to pay attention to your dreams right now too. I'd almost say have a journal next to you at all times just to jot down notes and ideas so that you'll be ready to go. But it's an exciting time. Okay, let's talk about each day of the week. I have my notes to keep me on track because I have a tendency of really going down rabbit holes and I have so much fun, but I also want to be mindful of your time. So, Monday, as we tune into Monday's energy, the moon is in Leo. And a Leo moon is calling on you to tap into your confidence, to become more visible, to get out there. Maybe you'll have a great hair day. Think of the Leos with their manes of hair. Leo also helps us tune into creativity, self-expression. There's a little bit of a fieriness. The Leo energy is being called to step into leadership because they shine brightly. They inspire other people. So I'm going to encourage you on Monday, maybe there's a little bit of a boldness. Maybe it's where you step up and take the lead somewhere in your life. And again, remember, the strength card came out for the very overarching energy of the week. So when you step, let's see if I still have it. Yeah. When you step into that lion or lioness energy, it's with the sense of leadership, not for taking control. And, sometimes when people shine very brightly, others, their feathers get ruffled. So you're doing so in a way that is mindful and fully joyous, holding on to that beautiful, bright energy within you and shining it. So if emotions are running high, if you're feeling like you haven't been respected wherever you are in your field with your friends, I'm going to encourage you to channel that into doing something creative. Whether you decide to paint, dance, listen to music, move your body, the Leo energy rules an area of the stars that has to do with creativity, even romance, having fun. So let's pull a card and see how you can make the most, one's jumping out, of that Monday energy, Leo moon, the Justice card. And this card I love because she has her eyes closed, but the reflection, her eyes are open. Can you see that? And she's balancing the scales on her sword of truth. This is about truth. Be honest with yourself. You are your own best friend. Don't try to trick yourself into something else to be like, oh, it's okay that I have that extra bar of chocolate, or oh, it'll be fine if I take this shortcut, or oh, surely that's good enough. The thing is that if you end up cheating yourself, your spirit and soul is going to know it's not going to work. The Justice card basically says, if you cheat on the test, you're going to get caught. If you speed, you'll get the ticket. So be honest with yourself. You don't have to reveal all of that to the world, especially with a Leo moon. Leo moons are already feeling very vulnerable because they have such big love and big hearts. And they want so intently to be able to inspire and lift and make others smile. That's why they're sometimes known as the entertainers. So they don't like their flaws to be seen. So this is just for you. Be honest with yourself as you're going into this week ahead. And thinking of that full moon lunar eclipse, if there's been something you've been hanging on to, an old job, an old relationship, physical items that you've been like, oh, sure, I'll get that, old toaster to work again, or I'll fit into those old pair of jeans, or, this relationship, I know I've been tired and drawn down, but it's time to end it, or I'm going to open up to this relationship and trust. Okay, Tuesday, moon is in Leo still. So that fiery energy, again, very similar. I'm going to just encourage you to ask yourself, where are you holding back? Cut through those distractions and focus on what truly matters. And we're going to ask, how can you make the most of this Leo energy? The grass isn't always greener. Sometimes people do a really great job of painting a fun, adventuresome picture. We see this on social media. We see the highlights and we're like, oh my God, that vacation they had, that looked amazing. Or those family photos were incredible. I'll never forget reading one influencer and he was saying, oh, these family photos, which really were so gorgeous. His wife, his two cute little kids. And they ended up, they're in the South and they ended up getting chiggers. And I'm not super familiar with them, but they, those little bitey things, and they were all broken out in hives and like it was miserable. And of course, they're fighting before the photo. And, so sometimes we just see the highlights and we think, oh, it's so much better over there. But there is an opportunity of gold being handed right to you. Are you taking that moment to accept and receive it? Look right underneath your nose. There's a treasure right there in your own backyard. I'm going to encourage you, stop looking in other places for that treasure. I'm just taking a deep breath because I need to hear that. Right? Because sometimes we think, oh, I'm not doing a good job, or, oh, I should be doing this, or so-and-so is doing that, or they're here at this point, or maybe I should go over there and try to do what they're doing or get a job here. You know what? Take a deep breath, get outside, and start to find the pot of gold. Perfect time with St. Patrick's Day coming up. That pot of gold is in your own backyard. Okay. So Wednesday, the moon starts to shift into Virgo. And as we shift into that Virgo moon, the thing about a Virgo moon that I love is that it is very practical. Now sometimes moons are different because there's other things happening in the heavens above, and we're taking the moon a little out of context and we're just looking at the moon because it affects us on a daily basis, our emotions, our feelings. It gives us a little bit of a way to help navigate what can sometimes feel like a roller coaster of an up and down feelings during the day. So I'm going to encourage you on Wednesday, you might be able to get a lot of work done. Pay attention to the details, do the admin work, clean the house, get the chores out of the way with. Because that full moon is coming up and we're preparing for it, we want to have a really clear mind. Also, because we're getting into that Mercury retrograde, which affects our thinking. Unless you were born with a Mercury retrograde, is another story. But see if you can clear your desk, so to speak. Like, clean up the office, clean up the clutter, clean up the home. I'm looking at, my papers. Start to clear that so that when the full moon, when you really feel it crescendoing, because it's like a big wave coming in, we're feeling it building, 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 building. It's almost kind of like the ocean pulls out as that wave is coming in. If you've ever experienced that at the ocean, and as it pulls out, you feel the power of it before it comes in. We're kind of in that little pull phase. Make sure that you're light, that you're traveling lightly. I say this as I've just packed for this conference. So hard to travel light, but let's see. How can you make the most of this full moon? And let me know if you pack lightly. Can you do that? Okay. How can you make the most of this full moon? Knight of Pentacles. So you're planning for the long game. You're planning for the future. This night, he's not in any rush. He's walking outside barefoot. He's alert. He's cautious. He's not taking risks. So that's a very Virgo type thing. They're going to look at the details. They're going to want to know all of the information before they make their decisions. So Wednesday's a great day. Pay attention to the details. Where are you investing your resources, time, energy, money? And just prepare yourself for the big picture. So again, that big picture vision, where do you want to go? Are you planting your seeds in the right field? Are you planting the right types of seeds? Because the eclipse is going to help shake and shift things out that really aren't in your highest and best interest. So better to be aware, better to release them ahead of time, and then, work with the energy of the eclipse. Okay, so Thursday, we're still in that Virgo full moon, and I'm just going to look at my little calendar that I have here. Yeah, okay. Thursday, still in that Virgo full moon. Okay, so we're doing that analyzing, we're paying attention to the details. And I'm just going to ask, how can you make the most of Thursday's Virgo moon energy? Chariot, success, victory. So on Thursday, if you're doing these things, you're discerning, you're paying attention to where you're investing time, energy, and resources. You're tuning into your strengths. You're going to most likely feel successful. You're going to see something that's a breakthrough, and you're going to be able to see that you can manage chaos. So these two horses want to go in different directions, but the wonderful charioteer knows how to get them to work together towards a common goal. So in the paying attention to the details with the Virgo moon, you might find that your energy has been scattered. Maybe you've got something going on over here, or different people or communities you're trying to be a part of. And they're all very close and near and dear to your heart. And you find a way to make it all work. But this is a success and a victory card. Very exciting. Okay, Friday. This is the full moon lunar eclipse, and my Moon Club friends, we are going to have a special ceremony for the full moon lunar eclipse. If you're interested in knowing more or learning more about Moon Club, go to irenamiller.co/club, and you can find out all of the details about our cool little club. We'd love to have your beautiful energy in there. Okay. Full moon lunar eclipse. I'm going to do another recording for that later in this week so that we can really dive into it and look at it with a little more detail. For now, what I'm going to say is that it is what we call a south node eclipse. So it is about an ending. It is about releasing and letting go. Eclipses are fated. They're unpredictable. That's why it's highly encouraged. Don't do any kind of manifesting rituals or making of moon water. Don't do those things. Because the results are unpredictable. So with the eclipse, you're just like, okay, I'm going to ride this wave that's coming in. You've done the preparation for the week. You've stepped into your boldness, allowed yourself to shine, paid attention to the details, took that big picture visionary look. And now with Friday's energy, how can you make the most of this eclipse energy? Don't worry. Don't worry. This is a card where we wake up at 3 a.m. and everything hits us, right? Our mind starts to go in circles about all of the problems, all of the issues with ourselves, with the world, everything that's wrong. And it seems overwhelming and it seems hopeless. But as soon as the light of day comes, those black crows turn into white doves. So it's going to look different in the morning. And I love, my Irish background. It's kind of like, what? Have a cup of tea, go to sleep, and it'll look better in the morning. Now, there are things in this world that are quite intense and quite heartbreaking. But if we are in a place of depression and sadness and a feeling of overwhelm, it's going to be hard for us to shine a light and hear guidance so that we can make a difference and take action. As a moonbeam dreamer, as a light worker, as an empath, it is important that you fill your well, your energy, because others do rely on you to help them reconnect to faith, reconnect to their hope, reconnect to the power of love, because there's a lot of bad stuff and hard stuff going on. So how are we beacons of light? What can we do? We walk towards a light and we walk away from something. So what are we walking away from? The old emotions, the old feelings that are just dragging us down. We're headed towards the light. Our eyes are focused on what is uplifting, what is loving, what is good. Doesn't mean we put our head in the sand or ignore the realities. We definitely pay attention to those things. But what we are doing is we are transmuting them, integrating them. That's what an alchemist would do, so that we can help people move forward through the most challenging of times, and we can have light on the horizon once again. Okay, Saturday. So as we move into Saturday's energy, the moon is in Libra and Mercury retrograde has begun. So Libra is about balance. Libra is about harmony. It's about connection. Venus is retrograde, so it might feel a little different. You might be reconnecting with old friends from the past, old relationships. You might experience with Mercury retrograde glitches in communication, misunderstandings or missed messages. You might want to back up your computers, watch out for your cars. Mercury is a planet of mechanics and communication, intellect, thinking. So it's anything that has to do with that theme. You attach the word, or you attach the prefix RE to that theme. So we review our thoughts or our thinking, or we review the way we communicate, or we revise, we reiterate, we reassess, we redo, we restore, we re-energize. Retrograde just has the re's, and then you attach the theme of the planet to it. So just be mindful of your conversation, double check your appointments and your messages. If you aren't hearing from someone, don't think they're ignoring you. They probably just missed the message when Mercury is retrograde. Okay, how can you make the most of Mercury? Or let me say this, how can you make the most of Saturday's energy, that Libra moon? Ooh, faith. You got to have faith. Limitless thinking. The star is in a highly intuitive card of unlimited or limitless possibilities. There's so many stars in the heavens above, more than we can dream of. There's so many opportunities for you. So whatever might have shifted out of your life with the eclipse, whatever ending might have come up, There's so many other opportunities for you on the path ahead. Keep the faith, keep your heart open, and keep looking. Okay, Sunday. Sunday moon is still in Libra. We're going to just ask, how can you make the most of this energy on Sunday? See, there's two cards popping out. King of Swords. So this is that practical CEO, visionary, very logical, not letting emotions. And actually, this is a great card for Libra. It very much represents the Libran energy. We're looking for the truth. We're seeking wisdom. We are looking for the big picture. We don't want to get caught in the weeds or the details. So I'm going to encourage you, again, just like we were talking about with the overarching energy of the week, stay fine-tuned to the big picture and rest. There's a lot of rest that's needed. It's been a tough ride for many, many people. So make sure you're getting your rest. Your heart needs the rest, the healing time. Okay, thank you all so much for joining me. I'm going to be going live again this week, or I should say going live this week. Thank you for tuning in. I will catch you live next Monday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern for the weekly energy weather report. And until then, trust your vibes and follow your heart. And I'll see you all on the flip side. Bye, guys.